Hey everyone, welcome back to the Grumpy Meeple, and I've got some very exciting news to share with you today because Creative Game Studios has posted the preview for their Chronicles of Drunagor Age of Darkness Apocalypse campaign on Gamefound. And so I haven't really looked at this yet. I wanted to do it live. And so we're going to kind of go through this and see what this is all about. I'm super excited about this because I think this game is great and getting more content for it. And particularly, I'm pretty sure they're reprinting the entire original set so that people who didn't get their hands on it can. And so that's just great for the game and great for humanity because the game is pretty cool. All right, so let's kind of dive into it. Chronicles of Drunagor Age of Darkness Apocalypse is a massive expansion that brings another chapter in Darren's fight against darkness. Through 16 adventures that present new mechanics and level structure, unravel Drunagor's culture and mythology in an enhanced campaign development experience where your choices will change the adventures you will face in the conclusion of your narrative. Okay, so that sounds awesome right off the bat. 16 missions is a lot. There were 18 missions in the campaign that came in the Age of Darkness core box. So that's a significant amount of content, which is awesome. And I like this idea that they're enhancing the campaign element and possibly creating some additional replayability through branching and such. So moving on, we've got this video here, which I'm not going to play on stream because I'm just not sure how that's going to kind of turn out. But the main thing that I wanted to point out is that if you come onto Gamefound and you follow this campaign, you will get this, what looks like pretty big 80 millimeter mini boss miniature for the Fallen Sisters for free. So it's a $13 value in the campaign. And I mean, really, if you have a Gamefound account, you're kind of not losing anything by doing this. So I'll definitely be doing this. And then you can just see a mock-up of the box, which looks pretty big. Scrolling down here. Okay, so one thing I didn't mention too, this launches in 48 days. So it's basically going to launch this in the middle of the summer. And so coming pretty soon, which is awesome. They go into the details of the game, 1 to 5 player, 30-minute play time per player. This is probably a little low. It's probably more like an hour, but it's hard to say. Once you really get going with it, I could imagine it being pretty quick. Maybe not 30 minutes, but it's possible, I suppose. Here we go, right here. Reprint and new content of one of the most exciting and compelling dungeon crawlers of 2021. I would have to agree with that sentiment. It is a really great, interesting game. You know, it's not perfect. I've mentioned numerous times that there's a lot of really kind of amateurish, like grammatical errors and spelling issues, and more worryingly, like screenshots of tile layouts that don't actually match the tiles that come with the game. So you're looking at the image and you're like, my tile doesn't have the darkness in that spot. It's in this other spot. But the core game is still unbelievable. And really all they have to do is just double down on editing this thing and checking for those very kind of minor issues, and they can take it to the next level. Again, they're telling you that if you follow before the campaign, you get the Fallen Sisters. And that is a really awesome miniature. Does she have 4 breasts and 4 heads. Okay. And lots of arms and an awesome sculpted base. This is something that they leaned into in the original campaign, and I'm happy to see that they're continuing on that front. And just in general, if the miniatures that came in that core campaign are quite good. I was really happy with them. I was quite surprised at how good they are, actually, especially the larger miniatures like the dragon are really, really good. So this is probably a great miniature and probably well worth the 30 seconds it would take you to click that button. But if you don't, you can buy it during the campaign. So here they're talking about the Undead King, who is I haven't completed, obviously, the content for the Age of Darkness campaign, but they're talking about how he's fallen, and he's kind of the bad guy of that game, so that makes sense. And here we get a picture not only of the fallen sister, but also of this gigantic death-looking guy with a scythe. If you watch some of my unboxings and stuff, you'll know these guys love scythes, man. And I love scythes, so that works. And then look at this base. This is incredible with these skeletons coming out of it. Wow, just really awesome. This looks like it's pretty much the same description as above, but it does call out, this is not standalone. You have to have the core box to play this. Here you've got some testimonials from a lot of board gamers whose opinions I really respect. Alex Radcliffe, Love Board Game Co., love the Dungeon Dive. He's got like a 40-part series on Shadows of Brimstone that's fun to watch. Obviously, Rob's Tabletop World. Mackenzie Franklin, I just did a live stream with him last week. You can find it on his channel, Side Games LLC, on YouTube. We talked about Kingdom Death Monster and the Shadows of Brimstone campaign system in pretty extensive detail, and you can hear me really kind of ranting and gushing. I'm sure Mackenzie was like, God, does this guy ever shut up? But I had fun. It was fun. And then you've got the Undead Viking, and then, of course, you got to have the Quackalope. Everybody loves the Quackalope. I love him too, so it's all good. And then scrolling down here, they're showing you the content for Age of Darkness and calling out kind of the core basic gameplay. I don't think I'll linger on this too much because you can always go back and look at the previous campaign, or there's lots of reviews and playthroughs and stuff out there. But I will call out the features that set Chronicles of Drunagor apart. You do have the 3D scenarios, the tile system, which I have no complaints with. I think it works really well. You've got the action cube system, which is awesome. This is probably my favorite thing in the whole game. It just gives you so much flexibility and so many interesting decisions to make every turn. And decisions in one turn affect gameplay in the next turn, which is really cool too, because you're kind of blocking these actions as you go. Great system. The folding door system is really cool because it doesn't reveal, as the quote here calls out, it doesn't tell you how much you have left kind of in the dungeon, and it also just hides everything that's going on before you get to it. And then you've got the interaction system where you're doing the choose your own adventure element of like picking your path forward and stuff. So that's great. And then finally they call it out right here. Chronicles of Drunagor, full reprint? Absolutely. So they say we've been listening to the community and many of you that missed our first campaign and now have an opportunity to snatch the Chronicles of Drunagor Age of Darkness full reprint. And they call out here, as a startup company, CGS is delighted to offer you the entire content from our first campaign. If you missed out, now is your chance to get it. So, a pretty broad overview, Not a lot of details on exactly what comes in the box or what's included. There's no pricing information here that I see, but this thing is coming pretty soon and in 48 days, and it's going to give you the opportunity to get all that content if you missed it the first time around. So just that knowledge alone might be useful for people who are trying to decide, like, do I really want to pay the scalper prices on eBay, etc. And so just take this into consideration when making that decision. And that's about it. I couldn't be more excited. I really like this game. I really need to get more time to play it and get more videos up on the channel. I just want to get the whole campaign onto the channel if I can. And I will be continuing that journey through Darren soon, and really looking forward to getting more content for it. So that's all I had for you today. This has been the Grumpy Meeple. Hope you all found this useful, and I will talk to you later.